Be sure to go to flipsidegaming.com and use promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. It's a good deal, and it helps support the show. Today's sponsor is also brought to you by, I messed that up, but I don't care, the like button. Press it, please. What's up, Planeswalkers? 36 bucks, more Magic the Gathering Arena. We're not going to finish the Cube thing today. I'm going to do that off stream. The reception to the Cube video was outstanding. I was actually surprised at how many people wanted to see it. And that just goes to show, Wizards, people like a diversity of formats. Anyway, we're going to be playing Historic again because that's the format I like. We're going to be playing the Boros Death and Taxes deck. Now, this deck has some bangers, a little bit of nombos, I will admit. But in general, I really do like this version, mainly because I've really grown to love Tectonic Giant. And I think I like this card so much that I'm probably going to make it the thumbnail. So, we have the same usual suspects. We have 4 Alseid of Life's Bounty as a great protection card. We have 4 Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, as a fantastic way to slow down our opposing decks of really any kind. Plenty of decks right now are playing non-creature spells, even if they're not necessarily control. 4 Tithe Takers. This is just a decent card that when it dies, we get a little bit of extra, and it forces our opponent's things to cost even more when it's our turn. What's awesome here is if you have Tithe Taker and Thalia, it means that if your opponent's trying to play, say, a Shock, that'll cost them 3 mana if it's on my turn, and I just love that idea. And then of course 4 Kinjalli Sunwing to round out the core of Death and Taxes. So once again, Kinjalli Sunwing is a good old 3 mana 2/3 flyer that forces our opponent's creatures to come untapped, and I think in this deck that is more relevant than in some others, because we do have some cards that have haste, we have some cards that really want to get in and punch, and I would say that this deck has a little bit more death than the others in the Death and Taxes family. So here we have 4 Hushbringers. Hushbringer is just a fantastic card at stopping nonsense from occurring. We can stop Euros. There are essentially just plenty of decks, and it would be way too difficult for me to go over all of the things this stops. I should mention that Hushbringer does stop the death triggers from Tithe Taker and Rekindling Phoenix. It also stops the ETB triggers of Rampaging Ferocidon. In some situations, that is bad. I have had games on stream where I've decided to keep Hushbringer in my hand because I've had a Rekindling Phoenix on board. Generally speaking, though, I haven't really had this as too many problems. I would be more inclined to remove Hushbringer from the deck than I would to remove Tithe Taker and Rekindling Phoenix, because I believe both of those cards are very integral at keeping damage around post a board wipe. We have 3 Robber of the Rich. This card, I'm actually surprised at how nice I like this card. We often are going to be running out of cards in our hand. That's just like one of the parts of Death and Taxes, you know? The only things in life that are certain are death and taxes. The only thing in death and taxes are that you're going to run out of cards. Robber of the Rich kind of helps with that. And I should say kind of because, you know, at the end of the day, we're playing 23 lands. I should note this deck has fewer lands than many of the other ones. If you want to know why, watch the stream. Watch the most recent stream, which was the 4th. I just kept getting flooded at 24. I don't know why. I have a lot of 4 drops here, but regardless, Robber of the Rich can really help us out of a bind by just taking cards from our opponent. Obviously, sometimes you're just going to hit lands, whatever, it happens. Sometimes you're going to hit cards that you're not going to be able to cast, especially considering we do have Thalia, but sometimes you get something to play when you wouldn't have had anything to play. The fact that this has haste makes it even better, and the fact that this has reach, your opponent will forget from time to time, and you just block one of their dumb 1/1s or something. It's fantastic. For Bonecrusher Giant, this is just a fantastic... I love all of the red cards in this build. We've got a great stomp. Obviously, if you have Thalia out, it costs a little bit more, but still, being able to deal 2 damage to something is something that Death and Taxes just loves. Being able to soften a creature so that Thalia survives by using her first strike, being able to hit down a planeswalker, being able to just have some reach against your opponent. You know, sometimes with Death and Taxes, you can get your opponent super low, and then they have a wall, and you can't do anything about that wall, and they slowly build back into the game. This can say nah, and you stomp on their ugly face. And then, of course, it's also just a 3-mana 4/3 that doesn't like being targeted. It's great. For Rampaging Ferocidons, this is a 3/3 for 3 that has Menace, and players can't gain life. Obviously, fantastic against any life gain shenanigan decks you're going against. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, Rampaging Ferocidon deals 1 damage to that creature's controller. Now, against Field of the Dead decks, they're going to be losing some life. Hopefully, we have taken them down enough pegs that they can't really afford to be playing lands and getting zombie tokens. It also has Menace, which is nice. Then to the pièce de résistance, we have 3 Rekindling Phoenix and 3 Tectonic Giant. Rekindling Phoenix, as hopefully all of you know, is a fantastic 4-mana 4/3 flyer that when it dies, you make a Phoenix. At the beginning of your upkeep, you put a Phoenix back into play. It's great. It gives itself haste, which means you can keep attacking with it even if it dies. The downside, of course, is that, you know, it sucks against exile removal, but okay. Exile removal is good, generally speaking. So it's not really a point off from this in my eyes. And of course we have Tectonic Giant. I love this card. 4-mana, 3/4, kind of the other end of Phoenix. When it attacks or becomes the target of a spell an opponent controls, choose one. Deal 3 damage to each opponent, more reach, which is fantastic. The Bonecrusher Giant thing kind of coming in again. They're both giants, which is hilarious. Or exile the top 2 cards of your library, choose one of them until end of your next turn, you may play that card. 1, it means that you can play lands if you need to. 2, it's technically more reach, right? You're going to be able to rebuild quicker with Tectonic Giant, which I just absolutely love. In so many situations, like the fact that you just get to choose each different time is really nice, and the fact that it just domes your opponent for 3 just on attacks is absolutely fantastic. Now, this is our mana base. We have 2 Field of Ruins, a bunch of plains and mountains, some Sacred Foundries, and then 6 Cycle lands. They just feel necessary in a deck like this where we don't want to flood out. For the sideboard, we have 2 Grafdigger's Cage and 2 Remorseful Clerics against Kethis decks. I have not seen, like, any Kethis decks recently. Like, none. So I might have to change the sideboard a little bit. 3 Nyx-Fleece Ram against aggressive decks. We are not as aggressive as other decks, so we still want to be able to gain life. Notably, we'd end up taking out Rampaging Ferocidon. Very important that we don't shut our own cards down. 2 Revoke Existence against things like Platinum Angel. 3 Blood Sun against Field of the Dead decks, as well as just control decks in general that often are going to have a plethora of lands that do things. Helps against Gitrog as well. And of course 3 Outlaws Merriment. Outlaws Merriment is what I bring in against general mid-range, late-game mid-range or control decks, and I think I need just like a little bit of extra staying power against them. So we're just going to hop into some games. But I don't know why it keeps going to bot match. Traditional historic ranked. Heat and Texas. I think I'm going to call this something like, Angry Audit. It's about taxes, but it has angry in it. So, because of the red. Going up against Petrov here. You get to play first, which is great. This is a good hand. Tithe Taker into one of these, into hopefully this, is pretty damn beast. Opponents are making their mulligan decision. I need to get a haircut, but I can't go to the barber. I don't know why I said barber. I don't go to a barber. I go to Great Clips, Hair Cuttery. I don't know. Some the McDonald's of hair cutting. No issue with it. They get the job done. Okay, opponent. There we go. They've taken at least one mulligan. Let's see what they end up doing here. Yeah, I'm brushing my hair on screen. Shut up, it's fine. Some people ask me about doing things like Abzan taxes. Mardu taxes, I think, is another one that would be decent. Even Naya taxes. I might end up doing 3-color taxes at some point, but for right now I'm going to stick with... I'm going to finish up the two mana tax decks, because the more colors you add... I assume this is Merfolk then, yeah. The more colors you add to a taxes deck, the harder the mana base is, and you tend to not want to deal with that. Let's see. Hushbringer is amazing here. Not only is it a flyer, but it stops nonsense from occurring. So, we take those. And what's nice is that Merfolk... Sure. I mean, that's fine. Merfolk Mistbinder? Why? 1 blue mana would be a dive down. 1 blue mana would be a dive down. There's no reason to make that attack other than they have dive down. So I'm not going to block. During my turn, their things cost more. They cannot play dive down. We'll attack in, gain some of that life back. I do need one more land. Opponent is on 3 cards in library. I assume they might bet the Biomancer. Another Deeper Leap does nothing, which I love. Don't need to block that. Because if nothing else, I can play Bonecrusher Giant next turn. Adapt? Sure. Could have blocked there, but I'm not terribly worried about this. 2 cards left in hand. We have a step that we will play tapped. I can't play one of these next turn, but I still want to be able to have that mana. Because I want to play a 3-drop here. Yeah. So, do I play Giant? Do I play Sunwing? I could play Ferocidon. I'm going to attack first to gain the life, just because if I play Ferocidon, I need to do that first. But I think, honestly, I just want Bonecrusher Giant. Yeah, big man on campus. Reveals the least amount of information to my opponent. What do you do? Oh, sure. I could technically attack with Giant there, but I don't think I need to. I think I just play Sunwing, and we're just going to continue hitting them in the air. They're drawing a few cards, which I'm surprised. And this is really showing the power of Hushbringer here. Fantastic. We essentially are just beating them in the air. But it really does show the importance of Hushbringer, especially against a deck like this, right? These deeper elites would have gone bananas. They would have very quickly outpaced our ability to damage our opponent. Yeah, and at this point, they're just drawing garbage lands. See, I drew a land, I can cycle it. Another Hushbringer just in case the first one goes. They're just in the air. And I think, frankly, we play another Phoenix. This is lethal on board. We don't show them Tectonic Giant. We don't show them Rampaging Ferocidon. You get no card draw. Cool. And it comes attack. Okay, against Merfolk, though, I don't think I have... Nyx-Fleece Ram might actually be worthwhile here. Because they can block for a bit. I think I like Nyx-Fleece Ram here. I don't like Robber of the Rich. The reason I don't like Robber of the Rich is, 1, I'm going second here, so I'm less likely to have fewer cards. 2, my opponent is a dedicated aggro deck, so once again, I'm less likely to have fewer cards. And 3, the 2-mana 2/2 body I just don't think is sufficient against a deck with Lords. Obviously, I did say that I would take these out if I put this in. I would take this out if I put this in. However, I still think that this is going to be more helpful than Robber is in this matchup. And I get to choose, when to cast my shit, so I think this is fine. I don't see a reason to play Merriment. There's an argument to be made to potentially, bring in Revoke Existence, but I don't think this is going to be the one that plays the blue enchantment, but I definitely could be wrong. But I think for right now, with the information I have, I think this is the way to go. As I continue to preen myself. It's a bad hand. We do not have a second land. If we had a second land, I'd probably keep it because we have Hushbringer into Nyx-Fleece Ram. But even though we're going second, it's unjustifiable to take this risk. Much better. I don't think it's good. I think we do this. I have a chance of Bonecrusher Gianting something. Start with the Biomancer. Sure. What did I put on the bottom? That's what I thought. So I expect... Oh, that's great, actually, if they adapt this now. Unless they're planning on, maybe deeper deleting immediately? Not sure. And that is obviously the issue of running so many of these cycling lands. I think right now I'm just gonna play Thalia here. If they attack with Biomancer, I think I'm willing to block because they would waste a turn on saving their Biomancer. Yeah, I'm fine if they end up paying 2 mana for a dive down. And they didn't draw land. Now that I have Tithe Taker, I think I want to go... I think I want to... Yeah, I want to attack here. Play the Forgotten Cape, tapped, and then play Tithe Taker. So they didn't have Dive Down. If they play a land here, I know that they don't have Dive Down still. They didn't. They just played another Mistbinder. So I did consider not doing this, essentially. Right now, since they don't have an additional land, unless they just got one, shit. That's fine, because... No. They can put 2 +1/+1 counters on the same creature. Shit. Do they have the River's Herald Boon? I think is the card that I'm thinking of. They have something. Aether Gust. Interesting. I'm gonna go 1 card deeper. Oh shit, I should have done that first. Is it worth double blocking? I lose both of my creatures. They lose a lord. No. No, I'll take it. No, I have Bonecrusher Giant. They didn't have Boon last turn. Didn't have Dive Down. Just gonna pass the turn again. Okay, 4th land. They decide to attack again. I would once again like to stop you, please. That resolves. I know that they drew the land. They should not have a dive down here. However, if for some reason they have a River's Herald Boon, I would want to block with... I want this to die. Do they have an effect? No. Cool. They knew about my Bonecrusher Giant. Why did they attack? Q-Mana. Okay, I couldn't have killed Q-Mana anyway. Interesting. Oh, right, Tithe Taker cost them. Haha, totally forgot about that. Well, that's interesting. They might have a dive down, but I think I'm okay with that. What? Do you have another command? Mirror Reedry, okay. Mistcloak Herald, that's horrifying. You gonna play another Mistcloak Herald? No, they untapped that for some reason. Play Tectonic Giant, and that really does hold down the forts a little bit. Especially since we have an Alseid. Yeah, see, they're starting to get their lords out, which is difficult. Mistcloak Herald kills us in 4 turns. That is interesting. They decide to attack with that. Messed up. I should have sacrificed this first. Yeah, I'm done with that. That extra Tectonic Giant is great. Trickster? Sure. Oh, you can double tap down shit. That's fine. They should tap down my Spirit. Not my Alseid. Yeah. I have another Tectonic Giant. As long as they don't have something else like a Trickster, they don't have a trick up their sleeves, then if I survive the crackback, it's only 12 damage. So it seems like they decide to take the safe route. No, they block attack there as well. This messes up their math a little. Cool, just a land. Tithe Taker's nice to see. It's additional blockers. So I'll probably play Tithe Taker Sunwing. I think with one of the Giants, I look at the top two, and the other one I hit. Nice. So I take this instead, which is fantastic. Should I play Sunwing and Ram? Ram does a decent job blocking this. The rest get chumped. Unless my opponent does something like sleep. A Trickster kills me. Fucking serious. They had exactly sleep! Damn. I think since I did go down to 23 lands, I should drop this Forgotten Cave for Plains. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. At 24, I needed 6. I think at 23, I only need 5. That should decrease the number of games where I have to mulligan or play poorly. Yeah, okay. Alright, Petrov. Got a turn 2 Hushbringer. I have 5 total plays, so I think I keep this. Then mulligan. Fantastic. Finally, some good looking food. Of course, we're on their home field. So they have home field advantage. Didn't even play anything on turn 1. Fantastic. Can actually just play Ferocidon next turn. Not because it's going to hurt them, but because it is just a menace attacker. And if I can just go... I can out-aggro them, that would be supreme. It does nothing. Alternatively, I could play this Forgotten Cave tapped and Hushbring. Then I can play Tectonic Giants on the following turn. I think I like that a little bit more. I'm gonna attack first. In terms of I could play Tithe Taker. I don't think they're gonna have removal from my Hushbringer. I think I'll play Tithe Taker, and even if they do, I can deploy another one. Although maybe just gaining the additional 1 life would be superior. Let's see what they have here. They attack in. The blocks. My Tithe Taker's now worth a single trick, especially since I can't get the afterlife here. They might play the other Adept. Yep. Let's show a Mistbinder. Sure. I think I do Tectonic Giant here. Next turn I can Thalia Hushbringer. What's up, baby? Sitting pretty on 2. Fewer cards in hand, though. Sure. We're going to see a Mistbinder. But are we going to see 2? I'm not willing to block with Tectonic Giant. But next turn, I can play Thalia here. Which means my opponent won't be able to just use Dive Down. Because Dive Down would cost 2 with Thalia, but it costs 3 because it's my turn with Tithe Taker. Would I trade 2 for 1 with Tectonic Giant? Yes, especially considering the fact that I can use my Tectonic Giant. So we attack with both of these. And I think I dig deeper. I don't think dealing the 3 damage right now is worth it. Fudge. I'm really liking that Phoenix because it's just damage in the air, but I'm really liking the Nyx-Fleece Ram because it's just inevitability. Phoenix right now is not going to really be as good because of Hushbringer, and I can play the Nyx-Fleece Ram now, so I think I'm going with Ram. And let's see if my opponent decides to double block. I only get to kill one of them, but I think that's fine with me. Yeah. I'll play the Nyx-Fleece Ram. Do I play the Forgotten Caves or hold on to it? I think I hold on to the caves. Yeah, I think I hold on to the caves. And Ram will hopefully go a long way of just gaining me life. And we'll slowly kill them with Hushbringer, I think. Deeper Lily does nothing, thankfully. That is unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. However, I can get there with Thalia. Do I have to double block and there's no way they're doing that? Yeah. So I'll play this. I'll play a second Hushbringer, which means I can double block the Merfolk Skydiver. My issue right now is plain and simply Kumena. Kumena does an absolute number on me. Because it allows my opponent to just tap their stuff. Okay. That's fine. I don't love it. But the thing is, the Skydiver doesn't actually do that much damage to me. Skydiver deals 1 damage. Because of my Hushbringers are now able to attack. Trickster does nothing. I need to kill a Mistbinder, but they're never going to attack with that. Sorry for the silence, I'm just trying to think of the various permutations of what happens when I attack with Thalia. And I think it's almost certain that they would block with a Trickster. They block with a Trickster, and I use Bonecrusher Giant. My Thalia lives, they lose a Trickster, but my Thalia is tapped. I think that's a risk that's too difficult. I think I'm just going to attack the Hushbringers. End the turn. I have Bonecrusher Giant. Unfortunately, my opponent can obviously play something like Dive Down, which would suck, but that's why you Bonecrusher Giant first. And I really do have to just continually down Kumena. I have to dodge sleeps. And what if they still attack with Skydiver? They shouldn't. Sure. Now... we have something. Aether Gust, sure. I think I might as well double block anyway. Which means if I'm going to double block, I should actually double block the creature that has greater toughness. So we're going to take 6 damage here. They're going to lose a creature. That's fine. Next turn I can play Thalia. And once again hold up Bonecrusher Giant. So we're still trying to evade sleep. I don't get my Tithe Taker, which is, you know, a thing. Yeah, right now, I still think I'm winning the race because my opponent keeps attacking with Skydiver. But I think, honestly, that my opponent kind of should continue attacking with Skydiver because one of their outs is just sleep. And they want me to be as low as possible for that. You're kidding. They have to have a dive down. They know for a fact I have Bonecrusher Giant. What the fuck? What? Why make that attack? Like, I'm relatively certain I should be losing this game. That attack was nonsensical. And now I can definitely keep racing them in the air. So I'm gaining 3 life a turn. Now they're only dealing 2 damage a turn. Kumana's still an issue. But honestly, I can just play Ferocidon in the next couple of turns. If I top deck a land, I can just double play Ferocidon. Okay. Sure, that's fine. Do I attack with Bonecrusher Giants? Probably. Biomancer, sure. So I get to use Biomancer, which means I can become a 3/3. But if I attack here, like, this blocks. So I think what I'm going to do is attack, put them down to 7. I'm at 17. I think I play a Ferocidon. Then next turn... I think I'll play a Ferocidon. I don't know if it's correct, but I'm going to do it. Doesn't mean for right now I cannot gain any more life. Opponent's going to buy a mentor. I assume they got a land. Which is generally a card they didn't need. Yeah. Sleep doesn't kill me here. Sleep does kill me here. Because of the fact that my creatures stay tapped. Nice. That's nice to see. So what happens if I attack with everyone? I don't love it, but I think actually what I'm going to do is attack here and here. Because this is presenting lethal, so I have to block in some way. And I'll get, 2 deaths. I can't attack with Thalia because this is a 3/3, and I don't want to just throw Thalia away for no reason. I'm going to keep these in the sky because having them suicide is not good. Do they just take the Ferocidon? Interesting. Okay, I am fine with that. We're going to Ferocidon and we're going to Hushbringer. Okay. I assume this is also a land. They're paying 5 to proliferate this. Although they had this mana last turn, didn't they? So this should be lethal. Now it's guaranteed lethal? Because this is going to get through? No, because it can get blocked by that, I guess. Math is for blockers. That attack lost them the game, I think. The opponent's taking 2 in the air guaranteed. And they can't... No, they're dead. Yeah, because they can't block this. Yeah, they're dead. Because they're taking 2 in the air, minimum, and then the 3 on the ground. Shout out to Menace. I really haven't seen, like, any graveyard decks, so I think I need to change a lot of the sideboards for these by including some sort of removal. Because that's kind of something they're all kind of weak with, and like I said kind of a bunch of times. I think I am going to go ahead and do this, though. Just to make it a little bit less likely that this deck specifically is going to get screwed. Is there a cool room? I mean, there's like Justice Strike. Response Resurgence is a bit of a meme, but it's not terrible. I'm not sure. I do think having some sort of removal in this deck would be good, and in most of the Death and Taxes decks, to be honest. But that's it for today, because it's that one match was 40 minutes, and I still have to record the spoiler preview thing. So I would like to, of course, thank my lovely patrons, especially Zin, for the continued support. If you'd like to join them and support the show, you'll find links to that down in the description below. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, go and tap that like button, add a subscription to our Mana Pool, cast a comment in the comment section down below, pass the turn, and the vid to some of your friends, and of course, until next time, all be one.